this is Devaa, and I am here at Kahena Beach on the big island of Hawaii. And as you can see, this is a very powerful backdrop behind me. And I wanted to use this opportunity to speak for a few minutes about an aspect of the feminine called the fierce feminine. It's a side that tends to get a pretty bad rap in our Western culture. In fact, the energy is usually just labeled as bitchy, but it doesn't get such a bad rap in other cultures. In fact, it's revered here in Hawaii. One of the primary goddesses that's celebrated is Pele, which is the energy of the volcano, which is a very fierce, powerful energy. Or in Hindu culture, there's the aspect of Kali, which is a very fierce goddess, or Durga, who's riding on her tiger. And this is a very important aspect for many of us to integrate. So I wanted to speak for a few moments about the fierce feminine. So, I like to think of the fierce feminine as wielding your sword, walking around, having a sword, and using that sword not to harm people, but to liberate. And it takes a real act of wisdom and discernment to know when it's appropriate to be using that sword. It's not appropriate to be using it to hurt people or lash out at people, but it is appropriate at times when our wisdom is telling us that there's something that really needs to be said. If you think, for example, of the energy of a female bear when she's separated from her cubs. At times what comes out is that very fierce mama bear energy, and you'd never say that that mama bear was bitchy or doing something out of line. Instead, it is appropriate because she feels that her young are in harm's way. And so that's an appropriate time for that fierce feminine aspect to come out. So there might be situations in your own life when it's really appropriate, and how you can know if you're coming from your higher wisdom from this place is often it will feel like a larger energy is starting to move through you. You're opening up to a higher sort of wisdom that wants to come through. And you always need to check yourself and say, is there any reactivity in me? Is there any intent to harm? And if there is, it's usually not appropriate to be using this energy. One way I like to use it is to really always stay connected to my heart. And if I can stay connected to my heart as I'm speaking the truth, then that can be really helpful. So also, when you think of using this energy, another important question is to say, am I being asked? Is someone asking for my wisdom or asking for my opinion? And if not, again, question yourself and your motives. It's really appropriate at that time. But again, there are many times when that energy is really helpful. And many of us Western women have actually shut down that energy quite significantly. And so we're disempowered. And what I'm inviting is an integration of this aspect of the feminine along with other aspects. So you have a full palette that